With the start of the new year, a lot of us are also committing to sticking with those resolutions, oftentimes related to our finances. But what about our kids? Here with top tips for making allowance matter is lifestyle lawyer Shari. I guess by saying we're going to make allowance matter, that kind of means we shouldn't be handing over the cash to our kids.
Exactly. Now the thing is, Holly, that over 60% of us in this country actually pay our kids some allowance, but surveys show that over 90% of us say that we know we're really not taking advantage of that as a teachable moment. So part of the reason is that we're busy, and let's face it, allowance sort of becomes a way to get our kids to shut up and stop asking us for more money, right? But the truth is that there are some simple practices we can put in place that will teach them very important financial values and also empower them with the confidence to make financial decisions and smart choices later on in life. So it's really important to do that.
So what are some of the rules, maybe some of the practices that we can use? It's a kind of a teaching moment, really.
It is, but it's got to be easy for them and it's got to be easy for us. So I like to boil it down to two things. If you can teach your kids these things, they're going to be set financially for life. The first happens when it becomes time to talk about how much should the allowance be. And there's been an age-old rule of thumb that you should use $1 for every age of your kid. I don't agree with that because all kids are different. And let's face it, nowadays we're tying that allowance to actual needs. So you need to sit down with your kid and actually prepare a budget. Have the conversation. What will you be responsible for paying and what needs to be included in this? And that's how you come up with the amount. The second is that there is no child on this planet who should have an allowance who does not have a savings account.
Got to start young.
And the rule is at least 5–10% gets set aside. And each week when you give your child the allowance is an opportunity to say, hey, how's that budget going? What'd you spend your allowance on? And commend them for savings. You absolutely guarantee will teach them those two very important values if you do that. The other thing, though, is responsibilities, which we were talking about before. I don't believe that you should be tying responsibilities to allowance.
What's the best age to start? I've got to wrap this up.
Sure. 5–6 years old would be the earliest. Average in this country is about 8, but it really depends on your kid.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this. As a parent, what would you start your 12-year-old at?
It depends on what you're going to have them responsible for. I personally would say in this day and age, at least $15 because, you know, things are expensive.
Okay, $15 a week.
But you got to talk about it. Are they going to be paying for their own movies? Are they buying their own toys? You know, you want to build that into the budget.
Sounds very reasonable.
Sure.
Shari, great topic to start off the new year. Glad to see you. Mike, we'll send it on back over to you.
And over here, we're following that breaking news.